Chapter 47. Rimuru Pav. So, you are Gazel Dwargo, king of this nation, huh? I remarked, observing the stout figure before me. He possessed a very dwarf-like, tough-looking physique, with the stature of a human but cloaked in an armor of muscle that hinted at concealed strength beneath. His skin bore the characteristic tanned brown hue of his race, and his jet-black hair was slicked back with precision. After Kato came to our room at the inn, informing us of the king's request for an audience, we agreed, recognizing the strategic value in meeting with him. Guided by Kato, we ended up in Dworgan's castle. Inside a chamber, we found 3 people: the king himself, Gazel Dwargo, an old lady whose name I didn't know, and another dwarf with blonde hair, whose name was also I don't know. I am Gazel Dwargo, the king of this nation. This man beside me is Dorf, our military officer, and the lady is Jane, the royal court magician. Please take a seat. Gazel introduced himself and the other people in the room, offering us seats. Since they introduced themselves, should we introduce ourselves too? Is that necessary? Less than yes, it is. It's called manners. How will you become a good father if you act like this? Greater than. While I was thinking, Seal abruptly talked to me via our minds. Greater than, does that mean you want a baby? Less than. Hee, let's tease her a little. Hee. Less than. Greater than. This is starting to become fun. Less than W. What are you saying? Greater than. Hee, it seems I hit a weak spot to poke. Let's see how much she can handle. Greater than, what did you say? I didn't quite hear you. Less than, idiot. Greater than. Hee, but I guess that's enough for now, or else I might end up sleeping outside. Greater than, well, it's fine if you don't want to. Less than. I never said I don't want to. Greater than. What? Greater than W. What are you saying? Less than. I asked her, flabbergasted. Less than, I mean, maybe, you know. Greater than. Greater than, that's enough for now. We will talk about this later. Less than. Ho, so are you backing down now, huh? And here I thought Master wanted to become a father. What a disappointment. Sigh. Greater than. Didn't she just seem embarrassed a moment ago? How did her mood change so suddenly? How? And what does she mean by, what a disappointment? Does she want a child? Greater than, did you want a child? If you do, then I am fine with it. Less than. Greater than. Less than, we will talk about this later. For now, Master should focus on this meeting. Greater than, and there she goes, into her silent mode with an embarrassed and red face. If you're going to get embarrassed like this, then why did you say something like that in the first place? Well, but she is right. I should focus on the meeting first. Did something happen? Are you guys alright? Your partner's face seems red. Is she alright? Gazel asked, noticing Ciel's embarrassed and flushed face. Well, nothing happened. Don't mind her. It happens from time to time, I reassured him, urging him not to worry about us. If you say so, he replied, trailing off because he didn't know our names. It seemed better to introduce ourselves properly. Let me introduce ourselves. I am the king of all existence, Rimuru Tempest. And she is my wife, the queen of all existence, Seal Tempest. I declared our names majestically. I don't know why, but hearing him say his name with a title made me feel it necessary to introduce ourselves with our own titles. Perhaps it's because I felt the need to emphasize our status as rulers from the beginning, so they could consider forming an alliance with us in the future. Or perhaps it's for another reason entirely. Regardless, I felt it was appropriate to introduce ourselves in this manner. King of all existence. What does that mean? Jane, the old lady, said in confusion, while the others seemed equally perplexed. Well, king means king. Yes, I am the king of all existence. I rule over all existence, and everything within existence is under my command. I explained to them who I am and what I am. However, I had a feeling that they didn't fully grasp what I was saying. Ha. You, Rimuru-san, you make good jokes. Gazel abruptly started laughing. I didn't joke, but again, not many people are aware of my existence, so it's only natural that you people don't know me. I don't blame you for that, I said to no one in particular. Well, aside from some selective individuals, no one is aware of my existence, so I don't blame them for thinking that I am joking. But I think it's time for me to make them aware of my existence. However, there is no need to take a direct approach. How about we play with them for a while? If not many people are aware of your existence, then who is aware of it? Dwarf, who was standing quietly until now, couldn't contain his curiosity any longer and finally spoke. Well, you have a valid question. There are not many people aware of my existence, only some selective individuals, which I can count on my fingers, I said. As I spoke, all of them became serious and gave their attention to what I was saying. If it doesn't bother you, then perhaps could you enlighten us on who they are? Gazel asked, showing interest in knowing them. Well, it doesn't bother me, so let's just tell them. Let's see. First of all true dragons, then all primordial demons, then all true demon lords, then all true heroes, some insectors, and a few others. I spoke these names after thinking about who they are. As I spoke about the people who are aware of my existence, one after another, Gazel and his people became silent, their faces paling. What do you mean by true dragons, primordial demons, true demon lords, and true heroes? Gazel asked, breaking the silence. Fear and terror were evident in his voice. Don't tell me you don't know who they are, I said, acting oblivious to his question. We know who they are, but what I mean is how do they know about you? And how do you have a connection with them? Gazel asked again. Good question. So who am I? What am I? Am I a true dragon? A primordial demon? Or a true demon lord? I wonder who I am. Maybe I am all of it, I said, increasing their confusion, fear, terror, and anxiety. As the words left my mouth, the fear on their faces grew to an unimaginable degree that no words can describe it. Tell me, did you ever hear of the fifth true dragon or the primordial silver? I asked them, giving one more push to their increasing terror. Dwarf seemed confused about who the fifth true dragon and primordial silver were, and Gazel seemed to have some idea but wasn't sure. However, the noticeable reaction came from Jane. She had a face of utter terror and fear, her eyes showing the look of a person who knows they could die any moment. Her face showed the true definition of fear. I know about it, I heard some legends of them. It is said that the primordial silver is the most powerful and ruthless among the primordials. He has turned many nations into nothingness in a matter of seconds, killing millions if not billions of people without a shred of remorse or mercy. His name alone is enough to bring countries to their knees. He was the strongest in hell, and his mere name was enough to strike fear into all demons. Some myths even say that he is so strong that he has defeated and killed all remaining primordials at the same time. But all of this is nothing compared to the fifth true dragon. He is different from all other true dragons. He is known as the Void Dragon and represents nothingness. Legend says that his true dragon form can be seen from all across the world, people from every corner can see him. His mere presence is enough to destroy everything. At his command, disasters happen, at his mere glance instills fear in other true dragons. Some myths say that he has surpassed even the creator of this world and become the strongest. For a long time, I also thought that it was all myths and legends and not true. But it all changed 300 years ago when he appeared during the time when the storm dragon was destroying the western nations. That time, I witnessed him for the first time, and it was majestic yet terrifying. The power was unimaginable, no one across the world was able to stand in his presence. All people kneeled because of the power radiating from him. On his command the storm dragon stopped his rampage. Him. The old lady Jane said, her voice full of fear and trembling. Well, all she said is definitely true, and I can confirm that. Yes, I have destroyed many nations, yes, I have killed billions of people. Half of it was because of the contract that I made after being summoned into the material world, and half of it was the result of a failed experiment. I didn't bother to resurrect them either, so yes, I have killed billions of people. If we combine that with the people that I killed when I accidentally used my eyes or when I destroyed the fiction world, or when me and Velda fought, or when me, Milam, and Veldora fought, then it will be uncountable. Anyway, she seems rather knowledgeable. Again, she is almost 1,000 years old now, so it's understandable that she has this much knowledge. But still, I haven't finished with them. Who knows who I am? Maybe I am the primordial silver or the fifth true dragon, or maybe I am not. What do you think about it? Isn't it interesting? I said to them, only increasing their fear and anxiety. Hee, toying with them is fun. A little more, then I'll stop. It doesn't matter who you are. Just tell us, are you a good person or evil? Gazel asked after gathering some courage. Good question, so am I good or evil now? Well, it all depends on what you think. Everything depends on one's perspective. So tell me, what is your definition of good and evil? I said, I think it's finally time to show my wisdom and knowledge. In my opinion, good means that which is morally right, and evil means morally reprehensible. He gave me his answer. Well, this tells me that he is a good king but not that knowledgeable yet. Well, your answers are good, but you are not entirely correct. It's because in this world, there is no such thing as absolute good or evil. Everything exists on a spectrum, and what is perceived as good or evil depends on one's perspective. I began, hoping to impart some wisdom. Till now, have you ever been in a situation where you had to take someone's life? I inquired of Gazel. Yes, he replied succinctly. Whom and when? I probed further. It was a soldier from an enemy nation, during a time of war, he answered honestly. I see. So, from the perspective of your own people, your actions may be seen as heroic and necessary for the protection of your country. They may regard you as a good person. But what about the people from the nation of the soldier you killed? How do they perceive you? Are you considered a hero or evil in their eyes? I questioned, hoping to highlight the complexity of morality. I don't know, Gazel admitted, showing signs of inner turmoil. Indeed, they don't see you as a hero. To them, you are the enemy, the villain, an evil person. Your actions are viewed with disdain and anger. They see you as an evil figure, I explained, aiming to broaden his perspective. So, considering these differing viewpoints, can we truly categorize actions as inherently good or evil? I posed the question. I don't know anymore, Gazel replied, his voice tinged with confusion. See, as a king, your duty is to protect your people and make difficult decisions for the greater good. But whether these actions are deemed good or evil depends on one's viewpoint. From your perspective and that of your people, you may be seen as a noble and virtuous leader. However, from the perspective of those who suffer the consequences of your decisions, you may be seen quite differently. So now, tell me, am I a good person or evil? I once again shared some of my wisdom and asked. Why? You are a person, and thus far, you haven't caused harm to us. That's what truly matters, Gazel responded, finally grasping the complexity of morality. Good, you understand what I am trying to convey. Now, let's address the main reason you requested an audience with us, I said, steering the conversation back to its original purpose. Ah, I almost forgot about that. The reason is this, he said, presenting the vials of potion we had given to Kato yesterday. And so he continued, shifting the focus to the matter at hand. Time skip. A good negotiation later. Well, negotiations went well. During the discussions, we talked about the full potions and some other matters. I also informed him that in the future, I plan to establish my own country, and if he's interested, he can form an alliance with us. He agreed to the proposal. So, in the end, we struck a deal that after the trial concludes, I'll take Kaijin and his brothers with me. Then, in the future, when we establish our country, we can form an alliance between our nations. Even though we talked for hours, I still didn't tell them anything about myself and Seal besides our names. Instead, I planted some thoughts in their heads, suggesting that I might be a true dragon or a primordial demon, or perhaps I have connections with important figures. I didn't provide them with any solid proof or a direct answer, just some vague ideas. Now, after all that, we find ourselves in court, where Kaijin is accused of assaulting Vesta, the minister of this country, and betraying the king by pledging allegiance to me. For the past half hour, Vesta has been ranting about some nonsense, claiming that Kaijin assaulted him and is planning to leave the kingdom with me. I don't know why I'm even bothering to listen to this, perhaps because Gazel politely requested my presence at the trial. Anyway, here I am, bored out of my mind. On the other hand, Seal is fast asleep, her head resting on my shoulder. After about 5 minutes of Vesta's incessant ranting, Seal grew bored and activated her sleep skill, which we usually use to simulate sleep. Seal created this skill because, as spiritual beings, we don't require food, sleep, water, or any other necessities of life. So, to experience sleep, she developed this skill. From this angle, her sleeping face looks so serene and beautiful. I wish this moment could last forever, but unfortunately, Vesta's voice is now grating on my nerves, making it difficult to appreciate Ciel's beauty. And it seems that Gazel has also had enough of his ranting. And that's why I believe that for assaulting me, the minister of this country, and trying to betray my liege and flee from this, Kaijin and his brothers shall be punished, my king. Vesta finished his balala, whatever he was saying. After hearing Vesta's full report, Gazel looked towards the other side where Kaijin and his brothers were present. Seeing Gazel's gaze upon them, they kneeled and bowed their heads. Kaijin, what do you have to say in your defense? Do you agree with what Minister Vesta has said? Are you planning to betray me and leave this country? Gazel questioned Kaijin. I think he questioned him despite knowing everything beforehand as a formality. Well, there is no need to worry. Because yesterday I visited him and told him a few things that will happen today, so there is no need to worry. Thank you, for giving me a chance to express myself, Your Majesty, Kaijin said while once again bowing. As he thanked Gazel, he glanced at me, and I nodded to him, prompting him to tell the truth. With all due respect, Minister Vesta's claims are false and baseless accusations. I have already submitted 20 long magic swords yesterday. But I do agree that I have assaulted the minister, but there is a reason behind this. Yesterday night, after submitting the 20 long magic swords, me and my brothers were enjoying ourselves in the bar. At that time, Minister Vesta visited us and started to disrespect me and my brothers, saying that we had betrayed the country and were going to flee, and some other things. When he said that, I didn't get angry at him, but when he started to disrespect my new master, I wasn't able to contain my anger anymore, and that's why I assaulted him. Kaijin told his part of the story while glancing towards Vesta, causing a surprise to flicker across Vesta's widened eyes. Well, this is getting interesting. See, my liege, Kaijin himself said that he assaulted me and he has pledged his allegiance to someone else. For this, he shall be punished, Vesta reiterated. Seriously, I know that he is going to change in the future and become one of my important subordinates, but still, seeing him like this makes me consider killing him. Should I kill him and revive him later? Well, for the time being, let's see what will happen. Silence. Tell me, Kaijin, do you have any intentions of joining me again? Gazel silenced Vesta and directed his question to Kaijin. Please forgive me, my king, but me and my brothers have already pledged our allegiance to Rimuru Dono, so I can't join you again, Kaijin replied, glancing between me and Gazel. As Kaijin said that, Vesta wanted to say something, but Gazel spoke before he could. I see. In that case, as the king of Dworgen, I hereby revoke the citizenship of Kaijin and his brothers of this nation and banish you from this nation. So, from midnight tonight, you and your brothers shall leave this nation. After this date, you shall no longer be recognized as citizens of our nation. With this decision, my judgment concludes, Gazel declared. Understood, my king, Kaijin and his brothers said in unison. But, my liege, Vesta tried to protest, but Gazel had enough of him. It seems that he still has something to say. Seriously, I should just kill him. Silence. You, Minister Vesta, shall visit after 1.5 hours. This trial has finished, Gazel announced and started to leave the room. I looked towards Kaijin and his brothers one last time and gave them a signal to meet me outside. After that, I princess carried Sleeping Seal in my arms and started to leave. Sigh, what am I going to do with my cute wife? To be continued.